Hi everyone and welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna, this is Stitch and Thread, and on this channel we are mostly talking about knitting. Today I have a slightly different episode than usual, and we will be talking about me going on a yarn ban and how it came to this. If that sounds like a cup of tea, grab something to drink, possibly knitting, or continue with what you're doing, and let's get started. First of all, a bit of a background about myself. I got fully immersed into knitting about 2 years ago or so. However, I was knitting before that, some accessories, socks, and socks was actually the reason I got back into knitting. However, 2 years ago, I finally was brave enough to dive into the world of garment knitting, and there was no turning back. What happened in the beginning is that I decided to give myself a leverage and and I allowed myself to purchase some yarns, different types of yarn, so I can explore the yarn weight, what I like, what I don't like, explore colors, different compositions of yarn. And to be honest, I have no regrets about this decision at all. I think it's just part of the process to learn what you like, what you don't like. And just for a moment, in case you're seeing that I'm looking down, I do have quite a lot of notes for today's episode because I wasn't sure I can keep everything in my head. So if I'm looking down at my notes. At some point, I realized that the rate at which I'm purchasing yarn is nowhere near the rate of me knitting with that yarn. And after, as I said, like 2 years, it became a problem. So I understand that having a yarn stash is quite a personal thing, and I feel like everyone should be allowed to have a yarn stash which they're comfortable with. So when yarn is in my stash for over a year, it becomes kind of a problem for me. So the yarn starts to be like a liability rather than something that excites me and brings me joy. So I thought about this and realizing that I'm a person who could be easily swayed. I see this new shiny yarn and I'm like, I want this. So it is obviously a problem for myself. And I do not really want the yarn to weigh me down, to make me sad just because it's been a year in my stash. But what happens that I'm swayed by a new pattern, a new yarn I want to try, and the yarn which I had for a while just continues to gather dust, which is not ideal, I think, at least. And another problem is that I live in the UK and I do not have an unlimited storage capacity. And even if I had, I probably wouldn't want to fill up all my drawers and boxes with yarn. So again, I don't really want to have so much yarn and not to be excited about it. And while I'm grateful to have this hobby and I would like to continue being excited about the yarn, I also think that the amount of money I have spent, I could have spent elsewhere. Yeah. So the amount of money I spend on yarn, I could have spent elsewhere, or even better, I could save up. So also, quite a recent development. We are in the process of purchasing a house, and that house will need renovation. So again, it's a small house, and again, I will not have a lot of storage. So I really need to be very careful with what I have and actually use what I have. So at the moment, I don't have a solution how to solve this problem for myself. I was considering how to deal with this for the last couple of months, especially after my knitting retreat where I purchased even more yarn when I knew I already had a lot. And the thing is, I mostly buy yarn online because I do not have a lot of stores near me. So I have no regrets whatsoever. It is such a revelation to be able to go into a physical store and purchase yarn, and it's just such an enjoyable moment. So no regrets there. However, again, I ended up even with more yarn. So I did also try to limit my purchases. I'm still actually doing that. However, one of my favorite yarns was on sale recently, and I caved in again. So clearly that didn't work for me. As of now, I probably have enough yarn to last me a year of knitting, at least, possibly more. And I think a couple of weeks ago, it really hit me, and I'm like, this is not where I would like to go. And at the beginning of the year, I watched a few videos on YouTube of like no buy year that some people apparently are doing. So they set themselves, they try to set themselves on the right track by curbing their shopping um, issues. It could be skincare, it could be shopping, it could be everything in life. They just want to limit their expenses. But I just found the topic quite fascinating. But at the time, I didn't feel that I need to address that. So in the end, I thought of doing something similar for myself, but not for a year. I thought that that's still a little bit too challenging. Um, I thought that if I do a whole year with the knitting just for my stash, that might result in me losing any enthusiasm and kind of would diminish my creativity with knitting hobby. So what I decided to do, at least for now, is to set myself on a challenge to purchase no yarn for 6 months. So that's my challenge. However, I have a couple of caveats which will allow me to purchase some of the yarn. So it's probably not no buy yarn, but it's like limited yarn purchases. And this video partly is for you watching it as my sort of accountability partner, so to speak. So now I'm going to share you with the outline what I'm planning to do in the next 6 months, what I'm allowed to purchase, if at all, or not. And before I do that, also, I'm not sure when exactly I have time to edit this video, but for me, my challenge starts on 15th of June 2025, so very soon. And I would like it to end on 15th of December. And hopefully in 6 months' time, I'm back with another video update where I will discuss how did it go. Hopefully it would go well, but we never know. So we will see. So the first caveat in terms of buying or not buying yarn is I will allow myself to purchase a Color Club by a specific hand dye here in the UK. It's called the Fiber Fox. She has lovely mini skeins hand dyed in non-superwash yarn, which is not very common here. But I really need those mini skeins for very special projects, my like magnum opus possibly of this year, possibly next year. I really would like to knit a Stella Quilt blanket by Penrose, but I do not really have so many different colors of yarn, and I really would like it to be reasonably color coordinated, and that's where the hand dye comes into place. So this is one thing that's allowed. But having said that, I think now she's doing month 3, which I have purchased just a few days ago, and I don't think she would be doing it more than, say, every couple of months. So I do not expect a lot of money spent there. The second point, I'm going to allow myself to spend money on yarn to finish the project. So far, I was reasonably good with purchasing enough yarn to finish my projects, but you never know your luck. Sometimes, some things happen. Maybe the designer didn't provide the right yardage or meterage, and I would like to be able to finish my projects should this situation arise. So that's kind of on my white list, so to speak. The third point is a bit more controversial, a bit hard one, and I pondered about it quite a lot. The thing is, I have purchased quite a lot of lace weight yarns recently, which I will hold double, but chances are I might want like a second strand to knit with, like a mohair. And I decided to allow myself to purchase that like mohair, the second strand of yarn, should I want to knit this project. But it should be only in the case if I would like to knit that project immediately, so cast on immediately, straight away, not waiting some time for the future. So I decided to allow this. I will try that's again another goal. I would like to prioritize obviously projects for which I already have a lot of yarn available to me. But should I see a new pattern which I'm super excited about, and I would like to use, that lace weight yarn, I would like to be able to do so. So this is a bit of a tricky one, and yes, I will also count, and after 6 months I will let you know how much money I actually spend in 6 months with all of these caveats to my limited yarn purchase for the next 6 months. So, and number 4 is with me trying to reduce my yarn stash. I would like to see it in numbers. So ideally, I would like to lose or knit up rather up to 3 kilograms of yarn. I do not know how viable that is, simply because I've never really counted in grams how much yarn I use per month. But this is something I'm going to start doing. So by the end of 6 months, I know exactly how much yarn from my stash I have used. Going to be an interesting one, but I think it will also give me an understanding and some numbers to keep me going and be excited about this goal at this point of time. Also, I feel like recently I really felt like working on more fingering weight projects, so reasonably small projects which wouldn't require a lot of like weighted yarn. Say chances are I might not hit 3 kilograms, and that's okay. I just kind of want to put out there, even if I use say 2 kilograms, it's still going to be plenty for myself. So this is the basic outline of my challenge. If you have done anything similar before, please comment below. I feel that not only for myself, but if anyone else is listening and they're going through similar situation, your experience might be very helpful. And with your challenges and the way you handle them, we might learn quite a lot more and might be able to implement certain aspects of it in our lives as well. Also, if you're yourself in similar situation as me and you would like to diminish your yarn stash in the next 6 months, possibly a year, and you feel like you would like an accountability group, if there can be a few of us, please also comment down below. If there are a few of us, I will be happy to create like a group on Instagram, and we can share experiences there and hopefully support each other on this journey. That's it. That's all I wanted to talk about today. I also understand that having too much yarn is a nice problem to have, right? And I'm really grateful for this ability to be able to purchase yarn and to have it in my stash, and to be able to look at it as well. I also feel like I would like to be more mindful of my consumption habits, and in other areas of my life I realize I'm pretty good with that. I'm I don't have an urge to buy something new for the house or whatever else, but it seems to be that with yarn I get too excited, and sadly I'll have to put a stop for it for next 6 months. But as my challenge finishes on the 15th of December, I guess you can imagine I might be able to indulge after successful completion of this challenge into some new yarn, and I can welcome some new exciting yarn into my stash, hopefully diminished stash by then. That's all I wanted to talk to you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day and knitting on something really nice wherever you are, and hopefully I'll see you in my next episode. Thank you again, and bye!